I'm Debbie Bookstaber. I am the president of Element Associates. It's a digital marketing agency and PR firm. I also happen to be a blogger. I've been in the affiliate industry for 15 plus years, having managed programs like Travelocity, Expedia, Waterford Wedgwood, and Royal Dalton, Villeroy and Bach, and many, many more. I happen to, in my work a lot with bloggers. I've been doing blogger outreach since about 2006, and that's how I know these ladies here. They are both top bloggers and top influencers in the entire country, and they also run other very successful businesses in addition to their blogs. So these are definitely three of the top experts in the country, in my opinion, and I'm pretty selective about being able to tell you really what bloggers in different verticals and different niches think about working with affiliates, and also just some of the other tips and techniques in order to make sure that you can build those relationships and work effectively with bloggers. I want to have them introduce themselves, and then we'll get into the presentation. So I'm going to start with Ciaran and then go across the table.
I am Ciaran Blumenfeld, and my name is pronounced Ciaran. People are always afraid to introduce themselves to me because of the spelling, but it is pronounced Ciaran. I am the founder and CMO of Hashtracking, which is a data and analytics company. We do hashtag listening and deep dive analytics on both Twitter and Instagram. And I am also a blogger. My site is momfluential.net, and we have several verticals: family, lifestyle, travel, decor, fashion, and we do some affiliate marketing, and I kind of represent the blogger that is more on the starting out end of the spectrum. I've been long aware of affiliate marketing, but long challenged like many of my fellow bloggers.
And I'm Ann Parris. I'm one of the partners in Midlife Boulevard. It's an online magazine for women over 40 and 50. We curate content, we create new content, some sponsored, some affiliate. I've also have my own personal blog, which is why my Twitter handle is not a supermom. And I run a conference for women bloggers over 40 and 50 called BAM. That'll be in Las Vegas next year. And I still feel new to affiliate, but this is my fourth affiliate summit and my second time speaking. So I feel like my reputation is greater than my knowledge, but still working really hard at learning a lot.
I am Kelby Carr, and on the affiliate side, I actually was using affiliate links back in '94, so I'm pretty familiar with that side of things. But I also run Type A Parent, which is a network and conference that's on its 7th year for parents who blog.
So, and I have to say, I use Ciaran's Hashtracking platform, and I've been to both the BAM conference and the Type A conference, and these women are just amazing, and so you're lucky to have them here. So we're gonna get started. Okay, so we already, here's our handles for everybody if you wanted to follow along for Twitter. So as you can see, many of us have these kind of unique handles, and the reason my handle is so goofy is because I've been on Twitter since it started. So people know you by your Twitter handle. So if you need to tweet with us, we'd be happy to answer questions after the panel. Connect with us on Twitter for sure. So Buzz Mommy, Momfluential, Not a Supermom, and Type A Mom.
We have kids, just FYI.
Yes. So one of the things we wanted to talk about is connecting with bloggers and how to connect with them, and some of the things that resonate and don't resonate. So so basically, I guess I'll start with Kelby, because I know that you just get tons of pitches for affiliate. So, what resonates when they're pitching you, and what doesn't?
Well, I think, a big factor, and we were talking about this at breakfast, but is the time factor. So I think part of it is that, even a pretty generous affiliate program can be something that's not going to get my attention because it's just one of those things. There's only so much time in the day. So I think for a lot of bloggers, a lot of bloggers also just kind of don't understand affiliate well enough. So I think that initial pitch, there has to be a really solid offer. But basically, it has to really clearly explain what the get is going to be for the blogger. Some of these bloggers are getting hundreds of pitches a day, and a lot of it is they tend to skew much more heavily towards sponsored posts because they see it as here's the money that I'm going to definitely get. So I think if you want to stand out, there has to be some kind of, I don't know, I would say some kind of a mix of affiliate commission, but also guaranteed money. And I think that a big reason for that is that you're up against companies that are just going, we'll give you a few $100 to just write a post and that's the end of it. For bloggers, long term, it's definitely better to work with affiliates and have passive income, but for the bloggers particularly who don't understand the affiliate side of things very well, they're going to go with what they see as the money that's on the table for sure, and not the money that might be on the table later. So that's...
I get anywhere from 200 to 300 emails a day, and a lot of the affiliate pitches that I get are, I understand what's going on, but they're frankly confusing even for me, and I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I think bloggers don't really understand a lot of them, or even if they understand, the implementation of an affiliate program is confusing to them. So they'll get an email and it'll look a little bit like a sponsored post pitch because it'll be suggesting that they write about a business or a topic, but instead of offering compensation, they'll be offering an affiliate link. And so when the blogger reads that email, they say, well, I could get $250 for this post if it were a sponsored post, or maybe if I invest a lot of time and a lot of effort and feel, and they feel uncomfortable and a little bit nervous and unsure of themselves already in the affiliate area, maybe they'll earn some money. And maybe they've tried it in the past and all they got out of it was $5. So it's very easy when you have 200 emails in your inbox to dismiss the ones that are, maybe I'll get $5 and I'll have to learn a new skill, and it's a little bit scary to me.
And there's a lot of carrot dangling that's been going on for years, particularly with mom bloggers. So I think you almost come into it with a disadvantage in that area where they're very suspicious of anything that promises maybe money later, even if it's authentic. So I think there's a lot of sensitivity to, you might make money maybe later.
So the ones that have worked for me recently are the ones that have, started out as a nice friendly pitch that have said, we know you've written about our brand in the past, in particular when it's a great fit, and saying, here's an embeddable link and an ad, and all you have to do is just pop this code into your post, and that's, and if you're writing about it already. I mean, for me, that's a no-brainer. That's really super easy.
That's just dumb not to.
Yeah, it's just dumb not to. So those are really successful.
Yeah. So I think one of the things we wanted to also talk about, so, these is really just what do the bloggers want? And obviously I can talk about it from the perspective of an affiliate manager as well as a blogger. I've been using affiliate links on my blog since 2007, and I found it to be very successful. But I came into it initially putting affiliate links on. And even as somebody who has many years in the affiliate industry, many of the pitches that I receive as a blogger, and I get hundreds a day, are very they're not at all targeted to my site. It will be like, here is this program. And then they'll have all of the, here's our EPC, here's our CR. They're using terms that most of the bloggers wouldn't know.
A lot of bloggers have no idea what that even means.
Those are terrifying to bloggers. Those are, it's like run for the hills. Even though you should be doing it and you think, I'll be making money, it almost scares bloggers away from all affiliate programs in general because it makes them feel dumb and insecure.
And the worst are the ones that have kind of, there's, that sketchiness or that gross used car salesman feel where, they're promising big money for little work. Because we're smart enough to know that that's not the case when you have organic content often, and when you're not putting a lot of pay-per-click behind a certain post. But one of the things is just be more clear in the way that you're doing this. Also, don't just do that blanket pitch out. So I actually get bloggers to do many of the programs that I manage, but I'm sending them individualized pitches. So it's very easy to go to Cision or go to Group High or go to one of those other blogging research tools and get a long list of hundreds of bloggers.
Those lists are horrible.
But and even, here's the thing, even if it's a useful start, get that list and then individually click on each of the bloggers, because, once they put you on their, they'll often, mark your IP address, whether it's like, or your email is one that they like or don't like. And there's certain PR people where their emails, when they come in, are flagged to me to read because they're great. They've approached me the right way. So it's, just don't do that mass mailing to the bloggers, because they can all tell what it is and you're going to have a very low response. I had a client a while back where they actually managed their program in-house, and they were a big Fortune 100 company. and they brought us in for just a quarterly thing to help them. And the first thing that they did is, we went through their email list, and I emailed, the bloggers in their program, and we had like an 80% open rate on the email, and they had like a less than 10, and it's because, people had us on their white list. Because we hadn't sent them annoying emails in the past.
Dear mommy blogger.
It can be very difficult to contact and reach out to them, if you've kind of messed it up in the past, or So I guess just one of the things is, what do bloggers want in those communications? Let's.
Well, I think you ought to explain that one a little better, because that's a really important one.
I think the emails that I open, that I respond to, they're personal. They use my real name. They don't call me mommy blogger, which is really
hated.
Never use that again. It doesn't bother me because I feel like it's a good descriptor of the original niche I published in, but it has become the most hated term by women who blog about parenting or lifestyle.
And some don't even blog about parenting or lifestyle, but they're known as mom. Like our branding has a lot of mom in it.
Never say or write mommy blogger again. Just don't do it. But for me, when they use my name, when they've been to my site, when they see if I publish content that's similar to the product that they represent, and when it just starts out as an invitation for a discussion that's personal, like I feel like they want to get to know me, and that I think open that door before you walk in with sending a bunch of information that can overload someone who's new to affiliate or doesn't understand affiliate at all.
And don't ask to discuss it on the phone.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Well, okay. I think a lot of don't assume they'll want to talk on the phone, because I think most of the bloggers in our network, if you say, "Do you want to get on the phone?" unless you're ready to hand over a 4 or 5 figure check, they're going to say no and be really annoyed.
Yeah,
it's a time factor, I think, for a lot of moms.
And so I think my best advice would be to target one at a time and work it for a very personal relationship instead of sending out a blanket email, because those usually get filtered out. Or they're not personal enough to catch the attention.
And if it's not, like I think too, you can kind of mix both. If it's an opt-in list, I'm a big fan of email marketing, but I think you need to mix both. So the email blast to 5,000 subscribers does a different thing than the individual email does, and they're both useful, but they're both like, you can't treat the individual email like a blast and have that be effective. I think you need to do both.
What's really worked for me and what's gotten me into affiliate are the companies that I work with that have approached me and really made themselves my partner and given me tools and ideas for incorporating those affiliate links into my blog. So each month I get a newsletter from one company that says, here's the specials we're running this month. These specials are only for, this group of bloggers.
Here's your code, copy and paste.
So here's your code, copy and paste. Here's 3 types of articles you might want to write. You could write an article. And they're not dictating content to me, but they're giving me great ideas and blocks of text and images that I can just copy, paste, and drop in. So they've just made it really easy for me to be successful as well as for them to be successful, because they've given me all these content options and very portable, blocks of code that I don't have to go search for and work real hard to implement.
Who does that well for you, Sharon?
Tea Collection has been wonderful doing that.
Yeah. I find Julep and Madison Reed do a really good job as well.
I think the hand-holding can be especially important with bloggers who are, some are savvy, but I would say, at least in my world, the percentage are really interested in making money, and they're really interested in affiliate marketing, but they're still overwhelmed and don't quite, the time factor, they don't have time to figure it out. They want to figure it out, they don't have time. So if you can, whatever you can do to make it easy, but still allow them to be authentic, is going to be the best thing. And, for bloggers, these are bloggers who have a tremendous amount of influence, but they don't tend to have traffic of, a tech crunch. So they can't just slap a banner ad on the sidebar and make any money. It just doesn't work that way. So they just need a little bit more massaging of the program, I think, to fit what they do. And I think even things like a special discount code or special commission or bonuses or things that are catered where, hey, we have a deal that we're exclusively giving you this week to offer your readers. So I think the more, I know it's a time factor on the other side too, so you can't obviously do this with every single human being that's in your program, but I think trying to work in a few hours a week to just sort of do this one-on-one hand-holding stuff is going to have a tremendous payoff in the long run.
Well, it's business development, not hand-holding.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think that's part of it, is they just really, the easier you can make it, the better it's going to be for everybody.
And I think you can cultivate some high-quality affiliates that way.
And if you do that, then they'll introduce you to other people. I think one thing to note is that, because I think I've been speaking at Kelby's conferences since probably about either 2009 or 2010,
Very long
and trying
time,
to
yeah.
educate bloggers about how to use affiliates, and really just to be an evangelist as to how to use this, why to use this, what's passive income, what works. Here's things that you can do to integrate these into their posts. So a lot of coaching, but a lot of it is acknowledging that many of these people have tried it. They spent an enormous amount of time. They really tinkered with it. They really invested a lot and didn't see those rewards. Often it's because they weren't necessarily doing the right thing, but know that you might have to overcome that when you're reaching out to them. One other thing I want these ladies to discuss is, I think one thing I see very commonly is people confusing affiliate marketing and PR. And what are some of the distinctions in your mind between what's PR, what's advertising, what's affiliate marketing? Because I think that they're very different things.
Well, I think actually that in some ways, I think affiliate marketing could be more successful with just a dash of the other side. So, for instance, if you want to get an influential blogger who isn't going to do it on the maybe, a good example would be, if you have a product, bloggers are not going to just write about a product because they can put in an affiliate link. Like most of the bloggers that I have in my network, they're only going to write about something if they've held it and they've used it. So I think that's another factor. So if you're reaching out and you're going, we have great commissions, you might have every other piece there, but if they haven't actually held the product, then they just don't have a reason to write about it because it makes no sense. So I think almost having that mix of, how about we send you a sample, we'll give you a special code for your readers, maybe we'll pay you to do one post initially, and then you'll have the commission ongoing. So I think doing a little bit of sort of hybrid of what the PR pitches do could actually put you a little bit more on the radar, where I think almost being more gray area could be better than being like, we're over here and PR is over there. Because I think then it's going to be easier for them. They're going to be able to write about something they've actually used.
I do sponsored posts and reviews, and I think that a affiliate link is not a replacement for a sponsored post, and that's a huge bugaboo with a lot of bloggers, is that you get a pitch saying you should review this product and you could make lots of money with this affiliate link, and the response is, no, you should pay me for a sponsored post because then I know I'll be making the money. But on the other hand, if it's a product that I'm reviewing and something that fits with my audience, and in addition to the review I could have an affiliate link, then it feels far more authentic and possibly far more rewarding for me. And I almost would rather do the review with an affiliate link if it's something that is, what I and my audience would genuinely be interested in. I think the problems arise when people try and use an affiliate link as a form of payment, because it's a little bit like, bloggers also get pitched with enter for a chance to write a blog post, and you could be entered for a chance to win a gift card. And I mean, nothing makes bloggers go crazier than to be asked to work for a chance to win something. So sometimes that affiliate link feels a little bit like a chance to win, especially if you're not familiar with how to implement it.
Yeah, and in many ways you guys are suffering just sort of from what PR has done.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault, but you're having to overcome some of these things. And I think, too, like a good example of where you're suffering is that a lot of times PR people don't want the bloggers. So if a PR person straight pitches, bloggers are afraid they'll get mad if they use a PR link because they feel, particularly like with sponsored posts, but a lot of times, I even think if I were sending a pitch, I would sort of bullet out, like, we'll send you the product, bullet out, we'll pay you, X for the post, bullet out. You can use an affiliate link, because I think a lot of times they don't, because they're afraid it's sort of kind of awkward when, even in the case of a sponsored post or even a PR sending something, a lot of times they would prefer the site be directly linked. So I think you need to come out and say, and we'd love for you to use the affiliate link, and you will make this percentage, you'll make X dollars every time somebody clicks and buys it. And so I think you need to say that, because PR pitches kind of want the opposite.
And also communicate with your PR teams. So
Yeah.
I think that it's really challenging. I had an experience with a program a while back where they were paying me and sending me all sorts of stuff from the PR side, just tons of stuff. And then because it was more of a slow program for SEO and branding, they wound up removing all bloggers, from the program because they wanted to kind of manipulate their EPC scores. And often bloggers have clicks but might not have the strongest last click attribution. So if you're looking only at last click attribution, they weren't seeing the sales. And so it was just a really, it made them look kind of dumb because their PR team and their affiliate team weren't talking to each other. I think one other thing that's really important to note is that affiliate and PR are very different. So if I'm a PR, an example for PR to me would be, I'd like to send this product for, editorial review consideration, right? It's earned media.
Yeah.
They're sending the product, and if I like it, I will write about it. Then there's the blended advertising, which comes from the PR side. I would like to do a sponsored post about this topic. Here's the date that I'd like it. Here's the product, and here's kind of the guidelines for that post. That's kind of a form of advertising, flat out advertising that has a PR angle. And then there's affiliate. I use affiliate all the time. And here's what I use affiliate for. I use it to update I look at my most successful old archived posts that still get a lot of traffic. I update them with affiliate links. I buy something on my own and I like it and I've done a lot of my research because I'm a nerd. I put affiliate links in there. In my opinion, affiliate links are things that I use on products that I already like, and it's my form of passive income. It's integrating it in there, but it's not necessarily dictated to me where I place it. And that's not to say that there's not a role for coaching bloggers, but I think that there's important distinctions. If somebody tells me, post this, and I'd like you to mention these following things, that's an advertisement. That is not, an earned media placement, which is like for consideration, and it's not... it's not like they put this link in. And if I'm going to put the links in that are affiliate, it's because I'm optimizing it based on my own techniques for SEO and traffic and what works for me within the rules of your program.
I think, too, sometimes it can be important. I mean, I have where I can do campaigns, but there are many, and you might do them. Do you do them with Midlife Boulevard as well?
What do you mean? Run campaigns?
Yeah, campaigns.
Run campaigns for brands.
So what can be helpful is to find people who are already avid fans of whatever it is that you want them to sell. So a lot of times you can go to a blogger network and they will find for you the bloggers who already love what you have. And yeah, you may have to set up an ambassadorship program or something, but basically you're getting extremely high engagement with a small number of bloggers, and I think that can be a lot more powerful. And it can be important to understand too that bloggers are very top of funnel and they're very important, but it doesn't always, like, to go to a blogger. That's where I think affiliate revenue does become an issue, because there are things that I still buy that 10 years ago I read on a blog that I am completely loyal to, but you would never be able to track my sales to that blogger who wrote about it years ago. But people trust bloggers, and there's lots of studies related to this where people trust bloggers dramatically more than advertising, and I think dramatically more than even certain types of online content. So directly tying it, I guess, to sales can be not rewarding for the blogger. So that, I think...
Yeah.
Shut up.
I love that you just hung up on them. You just picked
I
it
would
up
totally
and hung
do
up on
that.
them.
Thanks,
That's great.
Jerry.
So directly tying it to sales, because also the other thing is these posts are evergreen. I've done, for some of my affiliate clients that I've had for years, I've had a blog post in there, and we'll see that blog post might be about, say, Christmas dishes, right? Every year on Christmas,
Yeah.
as long as I make sure to contact the blogger and say, update it with the new Christmas collection, we'll see more of those things sell.
It's not the short...
Yeah, it's the long-term point of view. So I think we've talked a little bit about kind of the things that bloggers hate, and the things that don't really resonate. And again, I would also say that hard sell. The other things that I think bloggers hate is, I want to ask these ladies about the difficulty sometimes of applying to programs, getting approved, figuring out who to contact. I mean, what are the things that you find very difficult? Because, I often find when I'm pitching bloggers, it's like, I feel like I have to hold their hand through the whole process of getting into the program.
Well, and bloggers don't always look good on paper, because some of these bloggers are wildly influential, but their traffic isn't that high. So I know people who have said, oh, you should totally, go into Sharezel and apply to this, or go into CJ and apply to this. And they're like, I did, and I was just automatically rejected, or I was rejected after they looked. And sometimes I think you have to really take into consideration that particularly I think for some of the moms and dads who blog, they don't necessarily look great in numbers and on paper, but when they say something online, it has a huge impact. So, I think, yes, it's something about sort of the vetting and the review process. So that automation they can kind of take it personally when it has nothing to do with that.
And
so
check your automated settings. So, for example,
Yeah.
I have blogs that are successful, who might sell $2,000 worth of Villeroy and
you
Boch
might be
dishes.
huge fans of the product.
And, they might be very influential in their readers. Their 5,000 particular readers might be very loyal and very wealthy, but they only have 5,000 readers.
Yep.
So a lot of places have that kind of auto reject based on your traffic, and you could be missing out on some of those content publishers.
And offending an avid fan who's an influencer, because they're like, "What? I love you. I've been buying you for 10 years and I got rejected." They don't sort of understand, I think, the back end of how it works. They take it personally, like, I'm a 1%er of this company and I just got rejected and I would love to promote the crap out of them. And then, I know why that happens, but I think it feels personal to some bloggers.
So, Anne, I know that, for example, you went to the Share a Sale think tank and you've been at multiple affiliate summits. As you've been kind of explaining to other people within your blogger network, what are some of the challenges they face even when applying to programs or understanding some of the questions they're asked on those forums just to get approved?
Well, I think it's a whole new language. So, we're professional business people, but at the same time, affiliate is completely different and harder to understand. It's just a whole new language that you have to learn with a lot of acronyms. And I think sometimes as well, like Kelby said, it's with numbers. So I run programs for brands with bloggers, so I know the blogger stats. And I'll take a chance on somebody. I've had great success with people with what would otherwise be considered low numbers.
They work so much harder, too.
So sometimes a person with 2,000 to 30,000, which can be low in some niches, they'll be rejected from other things, but they really influence their audience. They have the same people show up every month, and when they say, look at this or buy this, people will check it out. So I think that, like Kelby said, sometimes the numbers are misleading and they're not it doesn't reflect their true influence. And also sometimes someone's real influence will be on social media as well.
Well, and I don't have much traffic. Me on paper, Type A doesn't look that great, but everybody in my network is also an influencer. So, when you multiply it, I have pretty tremendous influence. But if you were to just go by my traffic, it's pretty mediocre.
Yeah,
So.
and I think sometimes if you go in through an affiliate network, it's hard to understand. It's not user friendly. It can be very off-putting. So.
And some networks do a much better job of pitching bloggers than others, and some make it very difficult. There's a reason why many bloggers are using tools like Reward Style or Skimlinks or VigLinks or other tools, or why Amazon has been extremely successful with getting bloggers into its program, and many other affiliate programs are not. So it's, I've actually had bloggers in the past just say something like, I'll just, you put your affiliate link in. I just don't want to bother to apply. Like, they don't even want to bother to deal with it.
They'll
they're
take
okay
less
with making
money.
less money because they don't feel
But
like
time is money, too.
dealing with it. So, and they don't feel like having to go through and for every link. The other thing that's extremely annoying is, you've joined programs and then they switch networks and they want you to replace, hundreds of links you might have had embedded, and they don't necessarily have an easy or automated way. Now, as somebody in the affiliate side, I might be using tools like Pretty Link Pro, so that's not a problem for me. But if there's a blogger who's implemented that and then they have to go back, it's like there's a great chance that they're just going to leave those links broken.
Or take down the post.
Take down the post.
I think managers who do it well take time to build a relationship with the blogger at events like this, or even just through email is fine. But at the same time, if someone manages several programs, some of the programs will be great, and some might look like they're a good fit for me, but it's just not a great program. And I've had things encouraged to me from trusted people that were never going to be good, and I kind of resented the time and effort that I took to promote this vendor that just was not a great site, was never going to convert, didn't look good to my readers, made me look bad because it damaged my trust with my readers. Because
the product and the site has to be good for us to link to.
Yeah.
We're going to be more picky than someone who's just creating a site for the purpose of making revenue. That's not the main purpose for a lot of bloggers. The main purpose is to have awesome content. So they're not going to join a program where the product or the page, the product is mediocre, or the page looks like crap, or it looks like a sales pitch, or it looks like a squeeze page. Like, they're just not going to do that.
I think that's why some people stick with Amazon, is because Amazon is trusted by our readers, and it's stupid easy.
Yeah, they've got good customer service, good prices, free shipping.
Their commission's horrible.
Horrible.
And so, that's, you also,
worst.
before you decide to invest time in bloggers, take a good look at your product. How likely would you be to buy this through a blog? Is it a fit? And then also, is it the kind of thing that likely you're asking them to promote a product that some their readers could just go to Walmart and buy? Because if so, if your price is not more compelling, if you don't have a better offer, their readers are not going to buy through you. And so, that is some of the most successful coupon bloggers I know. Those are people who really have mastered affiliate. But there will be times I'll come to them with a deal and they'll say, that deal is not good enough. Like, I know my readers won't buy that. And the reason why, if you take their advice, they're always, I've had them where they'll move tens of thousands of dollars in sales in one day for a top coupon blog, but they have a really keen editorial eye. And so just understand that not everything will be a fit if it's not compelling enough.
And conversely, like on my blog, when I first put, I put ads up in my sidebar that were all affiliate links, and my criteria was, is this something I would buy? Is this something my readers would buy? And is this ad beautiful? Is it going to make my blog look prettier? That was a very big consideration.
Aesthetic is really important, I think.
Yeah. And so as long as we're talking about what bloggers hate, I want to bring up a topic called attribution. Yeah. So I know that these ladies have heard me talk about attribution, but would you say that you think most of the bloggers in your network understand attribution or how it might impact them?
I seriously doubt it.
No.
No.
Okay. So this is, if you're on the affiliate side, this is a severe issue. So I've seen this, for the most part, it's last click attribution. And I don't actually have a problem with that, in terms of as long as we know what we're dealing with. What I have a problem with as somebody on the affiliate side and on the blogging side is if I have last click attribution in all my programs just because that's, the easiest thing for the way that we're doing it, or, implementing multi-level attribution could potentially strain relationships with top coupon sites we don't want to strain, that's fine. But I acknowledge to myself, and both internally and if I'm having an honest conversation with a blogger, yes, this is last click attribution. And oftentimes the blogger is not going to be last click. So a couple of things I'll do is I will talk to them about how they can make themselves more likely to be last click. There might be certain things they could do to optimize their site to make it more likely that nobody's going to then click off of them to check for a coupon elsewhere, talk to them about tools, give them some coaching. So I'm trying to make it more likely they're last click. But often I will, even if I'm not doing it through the affiliate network, maybe the client just doesn't want to do that, you can then later on run things through your Google Analytics and others. So that way, if you see somebody is kind of a MVP player, and they might not be an MVP player according to your affiliate program stats, but you can see how many times they've contributed to a sale, that's somebody that I might want to send a really nice, I might send a manual bonus to, or I might send them product, or I might kind of put them on a special list of people that I do care about, even though they're not in the top 10 or top 20 affiliates in my program. So it's really important to kind of note that, because bloggers, when they tell you affiliate doesn't work, in some cases they actually might have the clicks. So they start thinking that your tracking's broken because they're sending you the clicks. And then Skimlinks had done a study that was like, bloggers get like 6% maybe, in 6% cases where these certain types of bloggers are last click because most brands don't use multi-click attribution. So if you happen to have multi-click attribution or different attribution styles, highlight that, but also know that they're not going to know what you mean by saying attribution. But you could say something like, other affiliate companies might only reward you if you were the last place a visitor visits before they buy your product. But we do it this way, and explain, like, they don't know what things like cookie duration or return days or attribution means. So
I would even throw out that 6% stat because that would get my attention.
Explain it in plain English as to like what makes you different, why you've got a better model, or why, hey, I know this is the model, but we are, we'll look at these things and we're happy to then have a discussion if it turns out you did actually push a lot of sales to us, even if it wasn't acknowledged through the affiliate program. You have to build that relationship of trust because there's serious attribution issues, and it makes it look like bloggers don't succeed. It also can be difficult for you to convince your boss because they say, oh, you spent this time and effort at this blogger thing. None of them are in the top 20 other than, like, say, Crazy Coupon Lady or Hip to Save or some of these really fantastic coupon blogs, or Purse Blog or She Finds or some of them.
And people go there to spend money.
Yeah, that can be very frustrating for the blogger and for you as the affiliate manager, where your boss is saying, oh, these bloggers didn't perform. Well, you might have to really dig into your attribution to say, well, actually, yes, they did, and here's how. Anything else on the attribution, or even just if you have conversations with brands and they kind of pretend it doesn't exist?
I just think, that bloggers tend to be the ones who give people the idea to buy something. And so I think that's obviously a really crucial step in the process, but that 6% doesn't surprise me, because then they might go check reviews, I mean, I think that can be the first step, but it's a really important step for people to get the idea to buy something, because none of the other steps happen without it, but they're not getting rewarded.
Or sometimes the blogger is the step where somebody goes to the site, then they check a blog, they read reviews on the blog, and then they go to a coupon site. Or frankly, I will say this, I'm a member of Ebates. I personally shop through Ebates all the time, right? So, I might be reading something on one of my friends' blogs, and then I kind of want my own personal handout of cash. So I'm still clicking through Ebates. So Ebates gets that credit even for me, and I'm a blogger. So, it's that's human nature. If somebody's a member of one of those great loyalty sites, they're going to still want to go there.
This is an area where bloggers feel incredibly insecure and a little bit defensive, because they're always being asked, well, what's the ROI? What am I going to get out of working with you? And, they're not that comfortable with metrics and talking about things like attribution and the hard sell. And this is where they run for the hills. And, frankly, with Hashtracking, this is something I deal with all the time, because people are afraid of data and analytics. And I've built a whole company around making data and analytics simple to understand and friendly and not scary, and empowering people and saying, actually, you do understand this. This isn't above you. You can handle it. And I think bloggers need that too. When it comes to affiliate, they need just a little bit of reassurance that, they're valued, they're not stupid, they're not worthless. Yeah. I mean, they really do need a little bit of building up and acknowledging.
And they're extremely, intelligent and talented and skilled. It just happens to be, I think, that this isn't their area. Yeah.
And maybe sometimes on the affiliate side, I've spent as much time as I spent educating bloggers, I found myself educating my affiliate clients or other advertisers about terms in the blogging world that they might not understand. Mm-hmm. And so let's go over some terms in the blogging world that sometimes when you're having these conversations, people don't understand, whether it's sponsored posts or whether it's even just, Twitter chats or some of the other methods you promote it. Like, what are some things that draw a blank stare?
I would think, the biggest thing that I run into is that mommy blogger term and the idea that there are people who have branded themselves as a mom's, dads less so, because dads tend to write about the ones who call themselves dad bloggers tend to write about parenting, but there are a whole lot of moms who blog, and a whole lot of them don't blog about parenting. As soon as I walked into the expo, a guy saw my badge and he said, "Do you write about babies?" Yeah. And I was like, no, the thousands of bloggers in my network, there's probably a few who do, but I have basically a big business and social media site and a conference. But so I think that part of what's really off-putting is just that, and it's not just affiliate marketers, it's PR, it's everybody who's kind of coming at bloggers, is that they really are, it's almost like this, you're an adorable mommy blogger tone, where I think you need to realize there's a whole lot of people who grew and they're wildly influential, and they're moms, and they may even have mom or mommy even in their title, but some write about tech, some write about business, a whole lot write about travel, a whole lot write about food, a whole lot just do personal essay style blogs. So there's a whole bunch, there's finance bloggers. So there's a whole lot of topics that oddly enough fall under the mom blogger umbrella.
And some you might be surprised. I happen to know of one food blogger who makes $6,000 in commission a month off of Bluehost's affiliate program, because she wrote a successful post about how to be a food blogger. So it's even, I don't think that company would have thought to pitch her, right? It's like you wouldn't say, oh, this food blog is such a great fit for website hosting, but she is one of their top affiliates. And so, that's kind of some interesting stuff. So I think we know that there's a different approach needed. So, we've talked a little bit about top concerns and what resonated, some of the things that work. But also, let's talk about who does a good job that you work with. So what are the tools or the relationships or the things that have worked for you? It's kind of a good chance to call out some good people.
Well, I've already mentioned Tea Collection. They just do an excellent job with pretty regular newsletters and suggesting content without dictating content, knowing that their suggestions are a match for what I actually write on my site, are similar to content that I am already writing, and just not making me hunt for anything. Just, when they send an email, everything I need to do is write in that email, and within 10 minutes I can have that post written and have all the links in it. So they do a great job of that.
Oh, yeah, and as you mentioned, Bluehost, when they contacted me, they read my blog, and they said, we think it'd be a good fit because, and then they also sent me examples of other sites that were doing well. So I'm certainly not going to go copy them, but I can look and get a feel for it and see what kind of post is going to work with that kind of brand and what I should be writing. So sometimes, you just want ideas for content, for how it's going to work, for what works really well. You know what's working. Help us know what's working, so we can build on already existing information instead of having to reinvent the wheel for ourselves.
Yeah, I would say, the one that jumps out at me probably the most is ShareASale, because they have for years understood the importance of the relationship building. So they've been a sponsor at my conference, but I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. They're a sponsor at my conference because they understand the value of coming in person, not just to something like this, but coming in person to where the bloggers are and actually getting to know them, and not just seeing bloggers as numbers, and actually having high engagement with the bloggers. So I think that's the important thing. Of course, numbers are always going to matter, but at its core, I think that if you want success with bloggers, they care about relationship and engagement and interaction much more than they care about. They want to make money, but the first step is always going to be, the better you know a blogger, the more they're going to open an email when you send it, the more they're going to take you seriously when you send an offer, the more they're going to be to join your program. It really starts with the relationship building. So I feel like ShareASale, I've seen them for years.
They were at BlogHer again this year too.
They're smart about that.
And it works for them because they have the budget to go to BlogHer. The buy-in's huge to buy a booth there. But I say, if your budget is smaller than that, try to find smaller events that fit in your niche. Like there's a brand here that does olive oil, right? I would find smaller food conferences and network, meet people that way. It's easier on your budget, and you'll make better connections than trying to cold email from a list you bought.
And I would say blog conferences in general, like she said, are a really good fit because you're getting people who are kind of consumer creators. So, you can sell them on the product, but you can also, you get kind of the best of both worlds. You can sell them on the product and also sell them on selling the product. So I think that it can be a good way to interact and get to know people, and also overcome some of that hesitancy to do affiliate stuff and have that conversation one-on-one with some bloggers.
And what about, the other thing is that in some networks you can find a real person. Or some affiliate programs you can connect with a real person. So one of the things that stands out with ShareASale is, they actually will reach out for bloggers. They'll give them their, their card with, here's my direct email. You're not going to a help queue. Here's my phone number. And if you had a problem or a question, they actually are accessible. I have a friend, and I won't say the network, but she actually has a fairly large affiliate site. It's not going to be, one of the top 20 out there, but she's making, several $100,000 a year in sales through affiliate sites and through her affiliate site. And somebody had accidentally deactivated her in one of the networks because her, I guess they were clicking another site for network quality or one of those issues and accidentally deactivated her. And it was right before a big weekend, and it took her 7 days of emailing and doing something to get through to somebody at that network. Oh. Well, I can tell you this. What people don't realize is those people know things. Like, I had clients on some of those networks where it's like, let's move to another network. Like, this is not a great sign because, it was like it created a real sour taste for them with, some of the brands that they were, it was just a bad relationship. And so, networks need to be accessible. The other people need to be accessible. And there are networks where you cannot get through to anyone with a question. And I'm not going to say those names because I don't think it's appropriate to call out anyone in a bad way. Specifically, I'll call out people in a good way by name, but I'll never call out them in a bad way by name. So don't even try to ask because I don't think it's appropriate. But, I think that coaching can really be successful. And if you don't have the budget, say you're a small brand, a lot of the brands I work with, they don't have the budget to necessarily go to a blog conference, but they do some coaching. So sometimes we'll offer webinars. I have a private Facebook group that only bloggers are allowed into, and the minute some kind of spammy, advertiser or affiliate person gets into it, it's like, delete. And I'm just in there, and not for even my programs, not for in any way. In fact, for the most part, it doesn't benefit me personally, it's to like answer those questions. And Missy Ward is fantastic, has done so much with bloggers.
So good.
She'll chime in on those things. She'll answer people's questions in these private Facebook groups.
And Missy, anytime, will sit down one-on-one with a blogger and show them what to do. And that, and I'm pretty sure she's busy, but that's an important factor, is this ability to go, I see you're floundering, you're flailing, let me just sit down. And usually all it takes is a few minutes of sitting down with a blogger and the light bulbs go off. But they need that. They don't get to that other side without a little bit of
There are
help.
those evangelists for affiliate marketing. Another one is Janine Crook from Affiliate Window. She is, I write the affiliate column for iBlog magazine, and I've been doing it for such a long time, and I just got really busy. And I called her up and I said, hey, do you want to write this column for me for a few months? And her answer was, sure. And you know what? She put great attention and time into it. She gave great information to people. But, the fact that I actually felt comfortable to call her, one, is because I knew she put herself in that evangelist role with publishers. And two, I knew she would step up, do it. Like, they're great. Even when I have time to pick up the column, we're going to still keep her doing a column because she's just fantastic. So those people who have that different approach, if you don't have the money to be there face-to-face, consider webinars. Consider, having like, good other tutorials available. Considering having
The
a
Facebook
private,
group, I think,
a
is such
Facebook
an
group.
easy
That's what I was
no-brainer.
gonna
It's
say.
free, and you do need to dedicate some time to it,
Yeah.
but that's a great way to relationship.
If you already
build.
have relationships with bloggers, add them into a private Facebook group where you can be accessible to them, where you can contact them, spread information in a group. And also it ties you to them more socially, and you're accessible to them and they're accessible to you.
And also, the other example would be like Amazon, for example, has a great section for all of its associates, which is their affiliates, where you can watch videos explaining things. I mean, they really lead you through their tools. Even if you know nothing, you could go into Amazon and it will practically teach you from scratch. And then one other thing that I wanted to make sure to mention is if you have a social media team, tell your social media team who your bloggers are that are in your program. So that way, if they do something, your social media team can put them on the list of accounts to either follow, give shout outs to, whatever. If I
Just
put
please
an
don't
affiliate link up-
spam them on Twitter.
No, don't
oh my
at-spam
God.
But for example, so don't spam them. But if, for example, I post something and it was just me being an affiliate posting something, and that social team happens to notice it and tweet it out and tag me, like, loved your post about us, blah, blah, blah. It's
Or
like
retweet even.
retweet it or whatever. That gets you extra points. So that I think that's pretty effective. I do want to make sure I ask these guys some of the tools that they like, because I think that, I know some of you guys use different tools, or I know you were looking into the Etsy program, and, so some of the tools that you like, and then I want to leave some time for Q&A. Any tools?
I mean, for me, one thing that I always, I guess because I'm real particular, I actually just like it when in an affiliate system, I can go in and link to whatever I want. Because sometimes I usually actually, I'm kind of the opposite of probably some people. I don't necessarily want a widget or a banner ad, but I may want to write about something and link to a permalink, like a deep link on a site. So I like when I'm able to basically be able to do it the way I want and not just have to link to, here's their 10% off, I like to be able to, I guess, customize. I like that ability more. But I think that since I've been doing it a long time, I'm probably the opposite of most people, where most people want it easy. But I would say it is nice to have that as an offer where either it's in the system or I feel accessible. I feel you're accessible enough. I can email you and go, look, I'd really like to promote this very specific thing. Can I get a link to that will track?
Yeah. And I work with Fresh Press, which is part of FMTC, and their suite of blogger tools is great and just keeps getting better. And what I like about it is it's easy to use, and that they're so easy to get in contact with and have such a good team of people.
Yeah, and really anything. If you know a blogger is not going to be consistently updating that post, you might want to suggest evergreen things. Or sometimes I'll suggest to people, hey, this product, you might want to also have an alternative link once you do your post of a link to that category. So that way it says, if this product that I featured isn't available, click here for others like that.
Yeah.
And even should be basic, but people don't do it. Make sure that when you retire a product, you don't just make those links break. I can't believe how many companies don't bother to do redirects to that same similar thing.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's
even
so
not.
1996. How do you
Yeah.
not do it? But they don't.
And those are, I think, some of the things where bloggers have tried and then given up because they've done stuff and then had it stop tracking, stop going somewhere useful. So then they feel like they got to keep up with dead links. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still at the phase where I'm learning and discovering tools, but I'm also at the phase where I'm like, golly gee, wouldn't it be great if I could just do this?
Like a WordPress plugin that would, where you click something in your post, if you have that ability to create something like that, that's always, it's, again, time, effort is the challenge.
Yeah. So I also agree with you, Kelby. I mean, even though I'm at the beginning phase, I still want control. And I recognize that there's specific posts or old posts that pull a lot of traffic still. And I want to be able to hand pick the right link for that post and fine tune that. But on the other hand, I do like the idea of something being sort of automated and I don't have to think about it and it's easy for me.
Yeah, like if it's a WordPress thing that you can either pull in, here's what we have for you, or you could generate a link, go over to the site and go, I want it to go here, and just generate a link, things like that. Easy.
Great. Well, I think now we're going to take some Q&A, and again, we're happy to answer questions afterwards on Twitter as well. I'm going to put that back up there with our Twitter handles, or happy to chat with people. But, certainly happy to take some questions now. Anyone? Okay, you in the there. I would say as needed.
Remember to repeat the question.
Oh, her question was, we've been saying we need communication, and how often do we need to receive that communication or that information? So I would say don't feel obligated. If you don't have something new to say a particular month, don't feel obligated to be like, I must do this newsletter. Because I get so many of those where I'm like, I think this is their monthly, I feel obligated to talk to you newsletter. And it's like, if it's not relevant, it's not new, you don't have to put me on it. I mean, maybe you can have some of that, but guess what? So many of those go straight to a folder where I never read them.
I would say, too, that on the flip side, I wouldn't go too long without it because people forget why they're getting the email. There's an issue kind of with email marketing. If you go too far, they think, I never signed up for this. So make sure you're communicating at least regularly enough that they remember. And I would also say it depends on the level of relationship. So if you have maybe done something like an ambassadorship program with a dozen bloggers and you're really doing high-level engagement and interaction and relationship building with them, that might be a special list where maybe they get more personalized emails more frequently because you have a high level interaction where, I feel like I would put people in buckets, so the people who maybe signed up for your affiliate program but aren't necessarily constantly, thinking about you on their site, I would probably say monthly or every other month is totally reasonable.
Try doing a survey and ask them how often they want to receive communication.
Or when they sign up for your list, ask them to check how often they want to receive it.
Okay, next question. I would say that, there's a couple different ways of doing it.
Repeat the question.
They said, do you guys have recommended tools or processes for finding bloggers?
I mean, I'm biased, but I think find somebody who knows bloggers. I mean, it doesn't have to be me. Yes. I mean, there's a whole lot of blogger networks and blogger agencies, and you can do everything from just having a 1-hour consultation with them to having them run the whole outreach. So I feel like if you don't, I'm not sure I could recommend enough that if you don't know bloggers well, I would at least do the light version of finding somebody to advise you, because there's a whole lot of bloggers who their numbers are smoke and mirrors. They look really good on paper. They really don't have influence. And even somebody who can help you, I've even been hired before where somebody says, here's our list. Will you look at it? And it takes, it's not that much for that person because it takes me an hour to go, no. Or I can look and very quickly tell who is influential but has low numbers versus who looks like they're highly influential and really nobody's actually listening or interacting with them.
What's your product?
It's like a fitness tech device, so it's...
Well, and that's the other thing, too. I would even say for that, what is the fitness...
There's lots of different blogger groups.
No, but there's also, I'm trying to think of...
Fitfluential.
Fitfluential. So for you, I would even say drill down more and approach a blogger network for fitness bloggers and work with them. because they can connect you completely with just fitness bloggers.
And
So-
whoever you need, like whatever level you need.
Exactly. So they can work with you, and they know not only bloggers, they know fitness bloggers. So that's what I would say, particularly with something niche like that. I would find, if it's available, not just a blogger network and community, but a blogger network and community specific to, in your case,
But you
fitness.
also might need to borrow money from your PR or other marketing part of your internal budget, because your budget might not be the right budget for that. So
Or work together on
it might need to be kind of a collaborative effort within the company. So if you're
which would be good.
which is great whenever that can happen. So if you're the affiliate manager on your own and you're trying to do that, I would say that yes, there's some research tools that can be useful. Tools like Cision and GroupHigh and others can be useful. But just remember that there's limitations to some of those tools, because sometimes they'll miscategorize, a blogger. And so, for example, Jenny Lawson is the blogess. She's this extremely popular New York Times bestselling author who's a comedy. She's just humor, and she's just fantastic. And she'll get all these pitches to her as a mom blogger. She doesn't do that kind of writing. And so, you
And
do
you can't
need to look
afford her,
through
I'm
it.
sure.
You need to look through it. The other thing I would say is that I've been successful for clients in that I will actually I know my top SEO terms. I will go into Google and I will search everybody that ranks on those terms, and then I will individually find their information. I might find a post that they do. I'll know that post has a top ranking. I'll know how much traffic I have on that keyword. I can kind of have an estimate of what they're doing there, and then I will pitch that person specifically for my program. And I will even say, I found you through this post. And, I think that there's an opportunity for us to work together on an affiliate placement. I'm that specific. And I'm very rarely turned down when I do it that way. And again, it's the blogger list can be extremely helpful, but don't spam them. And, it is helpful to know what other people are doing. But you might need to look internally in your company and figure out who else can help collaborate on it. Because I know certainly if you were, a smaller group, you might not have the budget.
I also recommend doing research on Twitter by using hashtags and looking at industry terms and keywords and seeing who is leading the conversation there and might have a fit if they're a content provider.
And actually, can you explain, because I don't think the people in this room will understand what you mean, about using hashtags for market research and how you would do that and how you would find the top influencers?
So one of the things I recommend all the time to brands is that they run some reporting on a keyword that's the keyword for their industry, the same words that you would do for SEO research on Google. But if you search the hashtags for industries and brand hashtags, popular trending hashtags, and just term hashtags, you can see who's leading the discussion. And oftentimes, those are going to be the very same bloggers and influencers.
Who's talking about coffee all the time?
Yeah, who's always talking about coffee? Oh, look, it's a coffee blogger, and it's a great point of introduction, and it's a different way to figure out who's actually influential, because you can see that they're leading a discussion and that they have followers and that their tweets got retweeted 300 times. So it's a great ninja tool to figure out who some of the most influential bloggers that you might want to work with are.
Yeah, that's helpful. I was especially interested in your point that some might not have the traffic or following, but that they are really influential. Like you mentioned, because your followers might be influencers themselves. So
Yeah.
And on Instagram as well. I mean, Instagram is so influential right now, and there are bloggers that, they will post a product on Instagram, and then that product will sell out, and they may not have the highest traffic on their blog, but their Instagram following is so huge. So,
And I did a post a while ago on secret influence, but another huge factor that brands are completely oblivious to is private Facebook groups. And I would say a huge chunk of blogger discussion is happening behind a wall that you can't see. So there are some people who run some of these private Facebook groups where they pop in there and say, I just did this, or there's this cool affiliate program I just joined, and people are jumping out of their seats to do it, and you never knew it happened. So I think that's where working with people who are insiders make a huge difference, because I can glance, like anybody here could probably glance when you have a list of bloggers and go, no, yes, oh, she has a secret group, everybody's in it, everybody listens to her, you know what I mean? So there's things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. You.
Yeah, I know we're running out of time. Jeremy from Mommy Makeup. Our challenge over the last couple of years has been partnership with our blogs and the partnership of the value, perception of value. Yeah, we want to get some return on our ad spend, but at the same time, we're feeling bloggers, they just want product, they just want the giveaway, they want that without any obligation. It's not even an obligation. If they feel it's like, okay, I put a post up, all right, a lot of them don't even want to monetize.
You're working with the wrong bloggers.
Yeah, I'm probably
If all they want is product and they want to do giveaways, you're working with the wrong.
and they want money, and so we pay them.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
get the product, and whether we get it for SEO value, and
Yeah.
just get a straight link, or we get, or we have to like vet them for affiliate links sometimes. They just don't want to put the affiliate links up.
Yeah, I think I think you probably want to work with sort of less bloggers who will give you more, who will talk on Twitter, who will talk. Social media has a lot more impact than people give it credit. People focus, I think, a lot on blog posts when I think actually a lot of times somebody who's really influential on Facebook or Twitter, they're going to get a lot more traction from some update on Facebook than they would get from 5 blog posts.
And we do constrain to that, and we do say, whoa, they have 35,000 Twitter followers, fine, and they have 0 web traffic, perfect. We'll take it to social. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But and they can buy them though too.
Okay, so we'll take it. But what happens is, we'll pay whatever the
Yeah.
slotting or replacement fee is, and then, we'll track it 30, 60, 90 day out. We'll give them a 365
Yeah.
day cookie, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And so at some point, there's no value in it for me.
Or is it an attribution issue too? Like, is it?
We have the attribution rules.
Okay.
And so I'm watching it, and we'll even cookie them back all the way through the email.
Yep.
And it's like if there's no reach, at what point does a brand have to just sort of say, hey, I'm better putting all my money over here instead of
Yeah,
why
I mean,
would you
if there's no impact, I think either there should be more, like there may be impact you're not aware of, like that sort of factor where I talk about there's a lip chapstick that I got at Blog Her 08 or something that I still buy every single time I go to the store, and I would know.
Really sales have
Yeah.
gone up 10 times.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's selling
sometimes it's
elsewhere?
invisible
It's
tracking.
elsewhere, so it's not a product or a pricing problem.
Yeah, I have no idea whether those blog posts.
But I wonder if it's maybe who the bloggers are.
But it also becomes straight PR.
Yeah.
Because now I have absolutely no way to know whether my Zulily sales have.
And what are their sponsored post ratios on their blogs? Like, how much are they writing about product and selling
There's
things?
always some kind of product associated with the post for sponsoring it.
No, I mean the other posts,
Yeah,
because
is
that's
their
another
entire
factor
blog
I
just
see.
sponsored posts because those bloggers often don't have a ton
It
of
becomes
influence.
noise at that point. So that's another reason. Like that's one reason that, my program is A-list, and I focus on their sponsor post ratios because at a certain point it becomes white noise. You don't want a blogger who's just every
All they
post
do
is
is
for sale,
sponsored posts.
and then it has no impact. Nobody reads it. Nobody hears it.
Am I wrong in thinking that if they have great social reach? that-
No, because they could have bought those.
They could have
Twitter
bought the
followers.
social
They could be
reach.
fake Twitter
That's-
followers.
You can
Yeah.
check for that. You can
That's
check
what I'm talking about.
You can check for
There
that.
are so many
Social
fake.
reach to be purchased.
Yes, there are
Oh,
people
yeah.
with fake. There are people with fake Twitter
So that's why I
followers and
say
fake
a lot of it's
Instagram.
smoking.
Oh, I want to
It's very frustrating. It's like
There are tools you can use to check
and there are
for
people,
fake followers.
and sometimes I'll look at it
Fired out then.
and I'll
But
see
that-
these,
but that's
these
a-
huge agencies like reaching out to these people, and I'll think like, do you not know this person's a scam?
And a lot of us on our side, we see people who get campaigns again and
and we
again,
laugh
we're
about
going,
it,
my
like
God,
oh,
yeah.
I can't believe they're
So-
I can't believe they're going to this person because this person's such a
But
scam
and
artist.
that doesn't mean you have to invest a lot. I mean, like literally, I think you could go and hire somebody like one of us and go, here's who I'm like, what's wrong? And it doesn't have to be like a massive investment. Just go, I don't understand, and they could tell you, look, this person has 150,000 likes on Facebook, and I can tell by looking at it that they bought them because nobody's interacting. So.
Feeding the dog's
If,
not going to come to you.
if you have a blogger that's doing well for you, invest some time and perhaps consider
Yeah,
hiring
figure out
them
who's
to consult.
performing
If
and put more
someone is
energy
doing
into that.
We have some that perform really well
Then put all your energy in them
every day.
and get rid of the other one.
and
Yeah,
hire
so-
them to help you find more people like them.
others, or even if you, in some cases, just because a blogger's good, they don't always, know who to recommend. I mean,
Well,
in
some may not
of those
be
cases, but
doing it well.
Thank you, everyone.
Perception that a lot of the bloggers that even reach out to me, they want they want the product, they want the placement fee, and they really don't feel like they owe me anything besides that.
No, if their heart's not in it, you're working with the wrong bloggers. That's the thing. I would recommend any day of the week working with 12 bloggers who are super into it, and we got to wrap it up. But connect with us afterwards.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.